Okay, so today the moon is in Cancer at 29 degrees.
Which means it's about to move into Leo.
Right. And so in Cancer at 29 degrees is considered a critical sign. And Cancer is home
Yeah.
and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
And, well,
And the moon is emotions.
you had a fascinating event yesterday.
Yeah.
A fascinating event related to the moon and the home and emotions.
Yeah, it was a little wild. I was in bed and my husband came running into the house and he goes, "We have an emergency!"
It was totally just like that. Because I could hear it.
Freaked me out. Apparently he opened up the garage door and he walked out.
When was this yesterday? It was like in the morning, early.
It was early in
like
the
7
morning.
in the
He was
morning.
getting ready to get in the car to go to work. He works on Saturdays. He gets in, he walks out to walk down the driveway to go get the newspaper off the sidewalk. And he looked to his left and he looked to his right and he went. And he sees this car on our grass running. A car that we don't own.
I was just going to say. Maybe he
And it was
started
running.
the car and had it warmed up.
And it had a great big dent in the front and on the driver's side door. And he didn't see anybody in the driver's side or in the passenger side in the front. And he's walking around the car going, "There's nobody in the car." But the car's running. Okay? And it's parked.
That's
He's
crazy.
like, "What the hell?" So he immediately calls the police.
I would have been like, damn, someone gave me a car. I would have jumped in the car like, dude, we inherited a car. Driving down the
This
street.
car perfectly parked on our grass.
On the grass.
Right, in between the tree and the fence and our driveway.
And another car
And another car.
that was parked on the driveway. So this car made its own driveway on
Made
the
his
grass.
own driveway in the grass. Weirdest thing.
Moon in Cancer.
Moon and Cancer.
Crazy
oh my
event.
Gosh, crazy event. Unexpected. Nobody was hurt.
Right.
Nobody was hurt.
And there was a person in the car actually.
The
Right?
The
There was
young
actually
guy
somebody in the car.
was asleep in the back seat. And his left shoe was in the on the floor in the front in the driver's side. He had gotten out of the car and crawled into the back seat, left the car running, and had fallen asleep in the back seat of the car.
Wait a minute. He got out of the car?
He got out of
How
the
do you know
car.
that? How do
He
you know
had to have gotten out of the car to get into the back seat, unless he climbed over.
Oh, okay. I was just curious, like, because he must have been really
He was
effed up.
He
to
was
not have
really effed
realized that he.
He was effed up. He could barely talk. Yeah. He was like totally.
So-
his pants were literally down underneath his ass. Excuse me. Underneath his butt. His belt was only halfway on and hanging down. He had one shoe on. He could
What a
barely
mess.
talk. He was a mess. And there's his car with this huge, the front fender and the bumper were completely smashed in all the way to the tire. And the driver's side door was completely smashed. There's a trine, which is a really
Right.
positive aspect that showed up in the chart of our house.
Yeah, because after that it was like, wait a minute, we have to find out how was it possible? Because I saw the pictures, the car where it was parked, it was
was
literally
parked
this far from a
perfectly.
tree. It was like 2 inches from an oak tree.
And it was like maybe this far from our fence.
Yes, on the other side. So it was like, how did this person who was so inebriated or whatever he was,
He
how
pulled
is it
in
possible-
perfectly straight.
Yeah, didn't hit anything.
Not in our yard, at
Yeah, the
least.
marks on his car weren't from any damage on the surrounding property
No.
of where his car was found with him in the
I don't
back
know
seat,
where he
asleep.
damaged. I don't know where he damaged his car, but he just like totally.
And
demolished
somehow
his
your
car.
home looked like his home, and he thought, damn, this looks like a nice place to lay down. Well, we kept wondering, how is it possible nobody got hurt? And the Grand Trine,
This Grand Trine. It was
Neptune,
just
right?
Water Trine.
Yeah, early
With the
yesterday
moon,
morning.
with the moon and Neptune.
Yes.
And what was it?
Mercury.
Mercury.
There's a nice, beautiful grand water trine. And the North Node.
And it protected our
North Node.
house, apparently. So
it was a trine, which means it adds ease. So this individual, like, this could have been bad.
Oh, it could have been really
bad. Like, he could have killed
yeah,
somebody,
if
let
he
alone
had been
himself,
over,
and damaged
you
lots
know,
of property.
like, if he had been over like 25 feet, he would have just like run right into our house, into our living room.
Well, he would have hit a tree, first of all.
He would have
right?
hit a tree.
My
He would have
gosh.
run into our living room. He could have hit my husband on the couch.
Like, not funny, but thankful that it turned out to be
Yeah.
really good.
So this show.
Yeah, we wanted to talk about the current energy because this was such a freaky event, and we want to know, did anybody else have any freaky events yesterday? What's today's date? The 17th?
17th. Yeah.
17th of November. So this was November 16th,
16th.
Saturday.
Yeah.
And depending upon what you have in your chart at the degrees of, like, you know,
16
17 degrees of water, whether it's
Yeah.
16. Now, Mercury was like 13 degrees. The moon's nodes were 9.5 degrees. Neptune's
Moon's
at
at
16 degrees. And so Neptune basically controls the trine because it's the slower moving planet.
Right.
So its power overrides everybody else's
Yeah.
power. And Neptune is very benevolent, very, it
And
likes
it's-
things to be idealistic and nice, you know?
and calm, and it's in its
Yes.
own sign, which is Pisces, which
Yes.
is that way also. And my husband is a Pisces, and so
Anyway, we had to tell that story. We thought it was very relevant to the current energies, and said, well, we should probably talk about the current energies. And the moon sign said, well, holy shit, we can't talk about the current energies without bringing up that story. So I'm G,
and I'm Amy.
who's back. Thank
Yay!
God for some more videos where this is all
Yay!
astrology.
Oh my gosh, I've had the craziest 2 months. So
And,
I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah. So this is actually a free reading we're going to do right now.
No, it's not free. It's an
I'm
extended
sorry,
reading.
I keep messing up my words. So this is going to be, I've been doing free readings like on like automatic pilot. But yeah, this is actually an extended reading. And
Yeah.
so in a minute, we're going to give you the numbers as to whose reading this is. So pay attention for your birth information.
Yeah.
And then we'll go right into the chart.
Yeah.
But the other thing I want to mention is that 29-degree moon. So for all of us, we're leaving Cancer, which is our emotions, our inner security, our emotional inner security in our home, right? We just gave a great example of freakiness and emotional inner security and, you know, in the
In our
home.
home.
And it's at 29 degrees, which is a crucial, critical degree, which typically means stuff happens to challenge that.
Right.
And boy, that was a challenge, right? It
Yeah, well,
thankfully
yesterday
turned out
it
nice.
was at 16, 17.
Yeah.
So thankfully everything, you know,
Worked out well.
Worked out
Could have
well.
been way worse. Even
And-
the cop said, what did the cop say to Steve? He said, thanks for being a good Samaritan. And I was thinking, it's not like he pulled the dude in the house and gave him coffee and fed him. Like, what the hell? And it was your property, right?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the other thing. Like,
but
I mean,
you know, the officers, and I have to give them props to our local officers. They were,
that's the Homewood Police Department,
yeah,
Homewood, Illinois.
They were very nice to this guy. They didn't rough him up. They weren't mean to him. They were
Yeah, I
very
think they
professional.
understood pretty quick.
They were very
someone
professional.
had a really nice Friday night.
but they were really
Understand that's all it was.
They were very
You know?
professional with all the really horrible things that you see
Yeah.
on YouTube and on Facebook and everywhere else of cops roughing up guys, roughing up people in general, and especially people in the African American community. It was really nice to see how they treated this young man.
Just as a human being.
They treated
right?
him very cordially and very appropriately.
Especially for someone who's on someone's front lawn, asleep, drunk, inches from doing major damage.
Yeah.
You know?
They were very professional and very appropriate.
Yeah, and it could have gone crazy.
Yeah.
Because any other homeowner, because Steve is so totally not like that, but any other homeowner rightfully could have been went into the house, got the shotgun, come out, and just really
Or
you know,
the baseball bat,
yeah,
or
and it could
whatever.
have escalated to something really
Thankfully, we don't own a
horrible.
gun, so we wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah,
but
so anyway, I think that was also part of his comment. What he meant too was just
Yeah.
like, thanks for being a good Samaritan and
being
not
appropriate.
not escalating the issue,
Yeah.
not making it more than just someone had a good night, good Friday night, and made some wrong choices.
But Steve didn't even
Thankfully,
know.
didn't hurt anybody.
It wasn't until almost about the time that the cops showed up that he even realized that there was actually somebody
Person
in the car.
and the vehicle was running.
Yeah, and the vehicle was running. But
The emotions, but it wasn't a square. It wasn't horrible. It was just like, it was an event.
It
was
was
an event.
just an event, and it went smoothly.
So let's get into the next part, which is the moon is going into Leo. So the difference from the moon leaving Cancer, Cancer, again, is a water sign. It's about feelings. It's about emotions. It's a very sensitive sign. So the moon being there, it's a cardinal sign. So it likes to do things, okay?
Yeah.
But now
Forward.
now it's moving into fiery
Leo.
Now Leo is a fixed fire sign.
Yeah.
So
it wants things its way. It wants to do it the way it's always done it.
yes,
It wants
fixed energy.
it wants to stay where it is. So Leos tend to,
And it's more selfish.
yeah.
You know, not to be mean, but Leo, it really is, I want the spotlight on me.
I want
I'm
to
the
do
center
it.
of attention.
I want to do it my way,
Yeah.
the way I've always done it. This is the way we do it. Don't change.
Yeah, it's a fixed fire energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with all that said, the moon going into Leo, understand where Leo is in your chart. If you don't know, this is all astrology. We do free subscriber readings. So go down below and comment your birth info and we'll hook you up. Every subscriber is given at least one high quality reading. Free reading. It is not a computer generated reading. It is top notch. We sit down, we discuss it, we look at it before we even come on to record and give you your stuff. We spend way more time on it than I will ever admit to.
Yeah, way too much more.
Way more than I'll ever admit to.
Yeah, way more time.
But
than we'd ever
you know
admit
what? The ultimate goal is to share the knowledge and for you to understand that every spot in that chart is you. And so the moon is the best way to understand that. If you track the moon and what sign, and what location of your chart it's in, you really get a good understanding of what's lighting up for you emotionally in your life at that time.
It's also really important to understand that the time of birth, the exact moment, the minute, down to the exact minute, is really important. So if you give us a time and you give us a time that you're like, sometime between 11 and 12, that's not going to give us an accurate reading.
Right. We can give you the reading because there's lots of people, especially recently, because we got a lot of people who want the free reading who give a time and they may not have the exact birth certificate. So we'll do a reading. You just have to remember, as far as prediction, timing is going to be skewed a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not, you just have to kind of accept that.
It's going to be off it might be off a little bit because when we're talking about the time, we're talking about the rising sign. And the rising sign is your physicality. It's how you live in the physical world on a day in and day out basis. And so that exact time is really imperative as far as that goes.
All right. With that said, we're going to jump into this reading.
So if you want a really, really accurate reading with an accurate time, we have a way of doing that, but that you would have to pay for.
Okay. Just comment down below. Just comment your birth info down below. We'll see what we can do for you.
Right.
Okay? We'll go from there.
Okay.
All right. So here's our free reading. I'm sorry, it's not a free reading. This is a paid reading. This was
is actually
an extended reading.
Paid extended reading.
Yeah.
Okay. So the date and time on this is January 28th, 2012, 1:57 p.m. And so we're just looking at the next couple of months for this reading. This is a sun at 8 degrees in Aquarius, and the rising sign is Gemini at 17 degrees. And the moon for this particular person is in Aries. So the sun in this reading is in the 9th house, and the moon is in the 11th house.
All right, so what we're going to try to do now is give this reading without using any astrological terms. I know it's difficult to listen to if you're not an astrology student,
Right.
you know. So we'll probably pull some of those in time to time, but try to use just practical day-to-day terms and words so that it can just be relatable to whoever is listening. She gave the Ascendant reading. This definitely is a Gemini rising reading as
Right.
well. So if you
Right.
are a Gemini and you're listening to this video, you can listen to this and understand a whole shitload about you
yes.
in your chart as well. If you
Right.
don't know what your rising sign is, comment your birth info below. I'll take care of it for you. I'll let you know right away what your rising sign is.
Okay,
For
so
free.
where we're going to start is with right at the beginning of December, the last couple days of November, the first couple days of December. There's going to be a situation that's going to come up just because of where Mars is going to be. It's going to be moving into the house that has to do with your physical health. So just for a few weeks, what you want to just look out for, especially that first few days, typically when a planet changes houses, sometimes that can affect you physically. So just look out for maybe a little cold, a little virus, a little bug, a little bugaboo. You might get a little sick, maybe get a little infection. Just watch out for that. It's not going to probably be a big deal. You don't have a lot of big planets in that sixth house. But just be aware. Watch out for that little cold or that little bug or that, you know, that little virus that might be coming down the pike. You might get sick with something. So just be aware of that. That's not going to be a big deal, but I'm just giving you the heads up. You may want to take some extra vitamin C.
Yeah, because it looks like it might be a matter of being possibly run down and tired because
Yeah.
you're coming off of this November where you've had a lot of
huge
energy
amount of energy.
and a
Yeah.
desire to be very physically
active,
more
yeah.
than normal. Okay, and so with that, you're out there doing stuff.
Right.
You know, maybe doing a lot of sports-like things, which
Yeah,
we kind
a
of
lot
wanted
of
to talk a
running
little
around.
bit about
Yeah,
the sports-type
yeah.
stuff and things that you, if you are a person who likes sports, who likes to be very physical, there are certain sports that we think would be good if you haven't looked into them to maybe see if you like them.
Yeah, you might want to start looking at some sport type activities that might be really good for you. You know, we were talking about what those might be, and we were
You are a people person, not just on the one-on-one level, but in the group level. You
Yeah.
do both. Your sun is all about groups of people.
Right.
Like your vitality. That's where you feel energized, and that's within groups. But you also, in the house of sports,
you like to be one-on-one.
there's this one-on-one thing going too. So you can actually do both, I would
Right.
say.
Yeah.
Okay. And because you have a thing here, I'll just call it a thing, where it's wise, it's intelligent, it's more strategic in a sense. So this doesn't necessarily mean, for me, in my mind, the way I would understand this, and totally say a contradiction or whatever you think, it's more something that involves thinking, not just about going out there and duking it out against somebody.
No,
It's
it's
not using your head
strategic.
that way. It's strategic, it's intelligent, it's competitive intellectually and physically.
Yeah,
Okay.
using strategy.
And how do you incorporate other people into that? So team sports, you were mentioning some earlier. Did you say basketball
I
maybe?
said basketball, I said soccer, because those use a lot of strategy. You have to be very strategic when you play those kinds of things. But then I was also thinking in terms of, because it's one-on-one, but then there's also other ways of using it. Tennis has you're playing against one other person, but then there's also doubles. So I was thinking about that. And then I was also thinking about, what if you got involved in long distance running or running in general, because you can do it on your own, but then there's also that team atmosphere of working with other people or doing relays.
Doing your own thing within a group.
Yeah, doing your own thing that is within a group. So there's lots of different ways that you can go. And I think maybe this would be a great age to start looking at what kinds of things that you would be interested in doing. I mean, I personally was not a team sport kind of person. I loved swimming. I loved long distance biking. And so those, because I liked being able to compete against myself. And so think about, try some things, see what would work for you.
And this kind of leads us into the next date that we're going to give you, right?
Yeah.
It leads us into, did we already start at the end of December?
No.
Okay, so on the 26th, a cycle begins.
Yeah,
Or did I skip over something?
No,
No, I'm good.
No, we're just there.
Yeah, okay, great. So on the 26th, it's called an eclipse. And at this time, it starts a cycle for you. And
A really, really big, important news cycle within your life.
yes, and the cycle's roughly going to be about a 5-year cycle. Okay, and the focus is on myself and relating with others and friendships and groups and valuing those and creating more than just starting new friendships, but starting to really cultivate them.
And starting long-term, significant friendships with a group of friends that are probably going to end up being your strong group of friends that are going to carry you through for many years to come. And these are going to be significant friendships that you're going to have for quite a while through your life. Now, this may mean that you might lose some people that you've been friends with and may still be friends with right now. You might lose a couple of those people, but the people that you're going to gain in the process are going to end up being the people that you end up bonding with and staying very close and have a close-knit group of friends with for a very long time. And thinking back to when I was your age, I distinctly remember that it was at that age that I bonded very closely with somebody who I'm actually still friends with today.
Holy crap.
Somebody I still talk to on the phone.
I don't even know anybody from 10 years ago. Shit.
Somebody I still talk to on the phone. So, I mean, we don't talk a lot. We don't talk all the time. But
you still know that person.
I
And
still
every
know
now
that
and then you
person.
talk
I
and-
still talk to that person.
And when you talk, you connect.
And we do. And, we can still talk about things from back when we were your age. And so I think this is, and we built a group of people that we were friends with all the way through school, growing up, all the way until we graduated from high school. And so I think this is what we're really looking at. Now, this isn't going to be just, I think that this is going to be a really mixed, very diverse group of friends that you're going to end up having.
Makes sense. This person is a sun in Aquarius, so you're a unique individual.
Yeah.
You're going to meet and attract unique individuals. Inventive, intelligent people.
Yeah. They're going to be a really diverse, really fun, really outgoing group of people. And I think this is going to really be the beginning of a really dynamic group of friends that you're going to have.
What about chess? I'm sorry. I'm just thinking something like chess.
Oh,
This is a really smart person. Like Mercury is in Uranus. And
Yeah.
this is a super intelligent person, that means.
Well,
Anyway,
that would be another
competition, it's
additional
intellectual competing,
intellectual competition. Chess, would be really good to add in there too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I kind of just,
Yeah, you need the physical and the mental.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Kitty.
All right, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe. It's not even dinner time. It's not even snack time.
Yeah, she just wants to be part of the reading.
Hi. So keep that in mind that you're going to be, your friendships are going to be evolving. This is going to be a really significant time for that. You're going to be significantly expanding that group of friendships. So you're probably going to end up with some friendships that are probably maybe a little unexpected, But that's okay.
Yeah, we see some surprises. We do
Yeah.
see some surprises. And so that, you know, and it's in the house of groups, right? So
Yeah.
there might be new groups that you're surprisingly linking up with. Things that you didn't realize were either
You're get-
available to you.
Yeah.
You know, there are definitely groups though.
Yeah.
It's connected with groups and
maybe what it's
hopes.
time for is to find some new activities so that you meet some new groups of people so that you can become friends with some people that you wouldn't normally have thought that you would come into contact with.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the end of December.
Yeah.
And then we want to kind of carry you to January.
Yeah. January is going to be rather interesting. There's a lot of things that are going on in January. This January is going to continue this feeling of the building of relationships, new relationships within your life. It's going to carry also some other interesting energy as far as the people that are going to be affecting your life. I think you're going to be meeting some people that are really going to be impactful to you, that are going to be coming into your life and really significantly touching your life in a way that's going to, you're not going to forget them. They're going to be really significant to you, and it's going to carry you through for a very, very long time. They're going to be the kind of people, you know, you may come across a teacher who has such a huge impact on you that it's somebody that you never forget, kind of situation, and really encourages you and really lifts you up. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that is somebody that comes into your life during this time, or that that's going on actually even now. That could be happening. So don't be surprised at that.
Yeah, just stay open is what we're saying. There's lots of opportunities for great friendships, for friendships within groups.
Yeah.
So stay open and just, you know, treat it like an adventure in friendships.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm looking at. It's Aries in the 11th house. Aries is all about adventure, striking new things, initiating new things, starting new things.
Yeah.
You know, being in new groups.
And
it's emotionally satisfying for you, so you really need to do this.
Yeah,
this is
be
a need.
willing to be the person to jump out there in front.
I don't think this person has any problem doing that. This person, so, yeah, just do what you've been doing, and don't be afraid to do stuff that's new and that includes new people, new groups, new friends.
And I do want to give you a little warning and a little heads up come February, because of an energy that is going to be existing at home. There's going to be a little combative energy, a little fighting energy that's going to be going on.
You're going to feel real assertive. You're going to feel real assertive and like, I want to do this. So there might be times where things that you want to do don't line up with what everybody else wants to do.
Yeah. So
what's the date on that though?
February. That's going to start a couple of days before the 7th. It's actually going to start the first, like right around the beginning of February.
Okay.
It's going to hit its peak on March 7th.
Okay.
So
March 7th it hits its peak, you just said?
I'm sorry, February 7th.
Okay, good, thank you.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I saw Mars.
So did I. That's why I'm like, what is that? Okay.
February 7th is the peak, so you got to go about a week before that. So right around the 1st of February, there's going to be this argument kind of energy, this like fighting, picking, like, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to. No, you have to do that. No, I don't want to do. You got to not do that. Okay? It's temporary.
Yes.
It's going to pass.
Yes.
as always, these energies always pass. So bite the bullet, as it were, suck it up, do what you need to do.
The best thing, the best suggestion during a time like this is to make sure that you do have projects, to make sure that you do have things that you can do, not just in groups, because there might be times when you can't be with the group, okay?
Right.
But you need to make sure that when you're at home that you do have projects you can do alone. This is going to be vital, so that you feel like you're still able to do what you want to do, even though the group can't do it.
Right.
That's going to be important. Otherwise, the energy, because the energy is still going to be there, but you have to find some way to let it express.
Right.
So, being physical in the home. She said something about, maybe wanting to redo a room or something.
Yeah,
change
you're probably
the room
going
around.
to. You're probably going to want to rearrange your furniture or something.
Like
in your room. So, find a way to redo something.
Find out what the rules are and then go do it.
Yeah, find out what you're allowed to do, and then put your mind to reorganizing. This will be a really good time for you to reorganize your stuff.
Yeah.
And to get rid of the stuff you don't need anymore. This is a perfect time for you to do this. To sort through your stuff, to get rid of the stuff you don't want anymore and you don't need anymore. To get rid of the stuff that you've kind of outgrown, and to organize your room up, and to put your energy to doing that. And then to talk about, what else can I do? What else can I put my energy towards? This is a perfect time to do that.
Yep.
You're going to have the energy for it. You're going to have the desire to do something, and you'll
have the time too. Actually, at that time, if we think about, or no, it's this.
It's February. No, it's February. School's going to be in session, but you're going to have this energy for getting a project done, and so you're probably gonna want something done at home because of where Mars is going to be.
It's a very physical thing. It's like, I've got to do this. I have to take action now.
Yeah.
So knowing this in advance, plan for what you're going to be taking action for. Be like, okay, if I plan this out, knowing how I'm going to be feeling. Some people use it a time to create a new workout routine. So if you're not into a workout routine, maybe have some new activities around the house that you can do. Whether that's get a jump rope and start jumping rope. I mean, I don't know. These are things you can individually do and yet get that energy expressed in some way, shape, or form. Okay?
Right. Okay. I think we've...
Well, let me get... one thing I didn't get was... I didn't grab the cards real quick.
Oh, you want to do a card?
Well, it's a thing. And that's what we do with our...
You okay? You okay, Zoe?
With our things. Is this all right?
Yeah. Sure.
So the thing I love about this chart is it's beginning a new, and this time frame is it's beginning this new, focus. It's an exciting time. It's a really exciting time. It's like, okay, I'm going to be meeting new people, and it makes sense because we're seeing all these indications for getting involved in group activities and the ability to be physically assertive and energized, right? So there's all these really great traits that lean towards group activities, group sports, and also knowing that to be involved in a group sport, this is just common sense. To be involved in a group sport, typically, if you want to be good and excel, you kind of got to focus on, your own individual skill set. So having something to work on at home, I think it kind of goes right along with this. Did you pick a card already?
I did.
Okay. This is the card. Do you have a book? What does it mean? Is there a
It's written on there.
All right. So this is the card she just picked for you. And this is, I think it says Ray.
Ray. Mm-hmm.
All right. So you just got a card.
And it says...
Oh, geez. Are you serious? Holy crap.
It
This
says,
is made up.
No. It says yoga and exercise are essential to your well-being, peace of mind, and spiritual growth right now. So, exercise.
That's really what it says. Holy
Exercise.
crap. Exercise is in there. Well, I'm saying holy crap about the yoga part Because for you, this chart, your Mars is in Virgo. Virgo is all about my health and my body and physical routines
well-being.
and well-being, yeah. And Mars is about exercising and taking action and being physical. So when we combine Mars and Virgo together, we usually say yoga. Or walking or things that are more holistic. And well, this is what this, anyhow, it's always fascinating to see how the cards turn out. So that was the card for that. I'm going to have her pick one more card. Now what I want you to do for this next intention on the card for this person is I want you to pick a card for the long term.
Okay.
A long-term card with this kind of a setup in this chart. I see what the long term shows. Like this person has great creative ability and is super intelligent. You would be good and smart, and you would excel at astrology, by the way. But I want long term. If we're talking about career, like I see your creative and your Pisces stuff, like movies, and gosh, you have a lot of energy by way of that. But you also are very strong when it comes to doing things practical and tangible, which means you could take things that you see image-wise, and you could then connect the dots of how to accomplish that, how to do that, how to bring what I see there and bring it down into my physical material world, and how to actually enable it to happen. And so what card did you get for this individual? Uh-oh, this is interesting. Let's see what the card says. This is what we do, man. These are the cards. I think it says Desiree.
Yes.
I'm not sure what Desiree means, but let's find out.
It says conditions are not favorable right now.
Conditions aren't favorable right now. Wait or look into other options and ask the angels to help, guide, and comfort you. I love that. Your future is in your hands is what that means. It means we're not telling you what to do with your future. You need to figure that out. And you're still figuring that out. That's beautiful. That's lovely. That's kind of why I don't like, for people who are youngsters, it's why I kind of, unless there's a specific question asking about future like that, I don't really want to dabble in that area because we have free will. And I want us and all of us to understand that we express it. And here you did. You just mix the cards up and pull the card, and that's the answer. All right, so that is your reading. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.